Hey darlings, warm welcome back to 26 Ways to Draw a Letter. I'm Lisa and this entire series is presented by Secura. Today we're gonna do the letter S in a lot of different variations. So S is kind of it's a tricky one for me. You know by now, perhaps, that I prefer straight lines and S doesn't have any of that. So there's going to be a lot of curves coming up. Maybe. Or, let's see what we can do with the letter S, okay? Grab some pens, download and print the practice sheet, or just grab a blank piece of paper, whichever you prefer. And let's go and make 26 different versions of the letter S.
Okay, so grabbing my 2 microns, size 8 and 10 for this one as well, and heading into the world of S. These curvy, weird, and kind of hard letter to me anyway. So I'm gonna start off basic, I think, with an S that is just filled with some faux calligraphy, which means that the part of the letter that is a downstroke when you write it is just made a little bit thicker than the other to give the letter some body and some oomph, if you will. And in this case, I have quite the big variety between the thin and the thick lines. As you can see, you don't have to vary the line width that much. Okay, so this is a script S that looks like I'm gonna do an L, but it is actually a S. And here's an S with much less curve, just slightly bent. So very different proportions on these 3 first letters, right? Okay, so here's an S with a heavy hat on it. The legs are thinner and the hat or the head or whatever you wish to call it is thicker. Next up, I was thinking about almost like 2 half slices of lemon, and how they can just be tied together by this string here, and then they're turned into an S. To further enhance the lemon look, I'm just gonna add 3 drops on each part here. There's an S. That is an S too. Okay, so next one I'm gonna make all curvy so that it's almost like 2 big loops on each side. See? So this is an S that starts here and that continues. Even when the letter is actually done, it continues here. Basically it's 2 loops. Basically it would look like you're ice skating, the trail of the tracks of your skates or something like that. So when you're drawing new letter forms, don't be afraid to explore. Sometimes it will fly and sometimes it will definitely not. But every letter, no matter if it's good or if it turns out not so good, will help build your muscle memory, your penmanship, and explore and enhance your creativity, and that is a good thing. So don't stare too much at the end result, people. That is not necessarily the most important thing in here. Okay, so there we're going over to a block letter S with some shade. Putting shade on the letter S is hard because it's curvy. You know, it's much easier to put shade on capital L or something. I mean, that's a walk in the park. The S is harder. So in this case, I'm turning the light on from the upper right corner. So the shade is falling beneath and to the left of the lines in this letter. Okay, so next up is an S with some, also this one, because these S's, they look so skinny and thin, we need to give them some body. So here's also full calligraphy like the first letter I did. And the difference here is only the terminal, you know, the last and the first part of the line there. So you can just compare that to the first letter and see once again that small details make all the difference. Okay, so here's an S that I'm going to do in 3 parts. There's the main part, here's the ending, and there is the beginning. It is not symmetrical, but never mind. Adding some lines in the top and the bottom to give the illusion of some shades here, so that would make the brightest part, the light shining in the middle of this letter. And okay, so here's an S with a bit of ornament in it. There's the ornament. Now this ornament makes it look pretty much like an F, right? So there's also an interesting observation, like these tiny details, how much impact they actually have and how they can change not only the look of a letter but also what letter you're actually drawing. But you have to just play with me. It's an S because we're doing S now. So okay, a big serif. How do one do serifs when it comes to the letter S? Well, let's see. At first we're gonna thicken the downstroke really good here, and then we add the serifs here. Same thing up there. There. So the serifs are counterweight, if you will, to the heavy body, to the heavy middle part of this letter that I'm now going to fill in with black, obviously. Imagine if you drew this kind of S without the serifs, then it will look like it wasn't balanced because the ends would be so thin and so small compared to the majority of the body. And since it's all painted in black, I can tweak it a little bit too. Right. So an S is curves, curves, curves. So I thought we could make a letter that is almost like an 8. Could be an 8, but it is not, because the lines did not meet in the middle there. So it is technically still an S. Okay, more ornaments. We're doing a block letter, and I'm doing the letter first. It's easier that way. Adding the ornaments now. There. And the same thing here. It's always easiest to get the shape of the letter down first before you add the ornaments. Here's an S with a huge upper body and tiny, tiny legs. And an S can also be like a flower or something that is lingering. Let's make some thorns there. And I'm hesitating. And the letters. I'm still using the size 10 here. Perhaps I should have used the number 8. We'll see. Adding leaves along the way between the thorns. One there. And up there. And eventually, of course, we need the flower. Same procedure as last time, or the time before. The petals can be uneven and rather like sloppy. That way it looks more like an actual flower. Okay, here is an S with a heavy bottom. Look. While the top is a little bit thinner, or at least the middle part is. Okay, let's do an S that doesn't have the thick downstrokes. We're turning that technique upside down, and instead we are making the side strokes, the strokes going to the side, to the left or to the right, heavier, and filling them in. I kind of dig this thing when you try to make an S almost like a rectangle. I mean a rectangle considering the outer shape of this letter. And then I was thinking that an S is actually just a pair of C's, right? So let's just draw 2 C's here. There. That is an S. And an S can also be symbolized by a road, right? A curvy road with bushes and some flowers. And there. Okay, I'm once more trying to break up the shape of an S. And I think I'm gonna turn it into 3 different parts. So here's the up part, it's the under part, and I'm thinking that the middle part should be thick. Which is weird. Now that I see it, it's really weird looking S. But on we go. And here is an S with some script feeling to it, and drop, ends, and beginnings. Okay, let's make a more relaxed, fun, curvy S, where we once more play a little bit with the proportions. So this is another version of the thin like body and the thick head and feet, if you will. And an ordinary chubby balloony S. Once more the script one with the curves enhanced, so curves and S and curves, almost like two wheels there. Thickening this part just to make sure that everyone sees that it is actually an S. 2 more to go. Okay. I'm thinking we could make this thinner block letter S and sort of draw some, I don't know, leaves, petals, drops, whatever you want to call it, that goes from inside this S, that will sort of enhance this letter's total lack of straight and boring lines, right? So just filling it in with leaves there, and in the middle too. Is that enough? No, obviously never enough. So let's continue. There. And one more there, and perhaps can't stop, won't stop there too. Yeah, and as surrounded, almost looks like it's some circular motion going on here. And speaking of circular, the 26th is coming right up. Cinnamon bun, almost. In one line that doesn't cross or touch any other lines. There! 26 different ways to draw the letter S. I'll be back next time.